My name is Frank Audino, and I'm here at the Delaware River Club. And what we're doing today is we're doing a little video on trying to explain how to use different hairs and what hairs to use for compared wings. I've been doing it for longer than I really want to admit to, and we found out over the years 90% of the problems that we're finding with people tying compared wings, it wasn't their lack of skills, it was different materials they were using. So hopefully today what we're gonna do is explain how and why, and hopefully it'll make your day a lot easier when you go to tie some comparisons. The main thing is when you go to a store or someplace to buy your deer hair, all deer hair is not alike. That's like walking into a paint store asking for a gallon of blue paint. The guy's gonna laugh at you and say there's 500 colors of blue. So what we're gonna do is clear that up hopefully today. The first thing is, if you look at this piece right here, if you look at the long black tips, you're going to realize when you go to tie it in, they're not, it's going to be really flimsy at the top and really stubby at the bottom. So the problem is going to be that you're not going to have a consistent wing. It has the right consistency and density, but the problem is with these tips, it's not going to look right, because even if you tie a small fly, it's all you're going to have is just black tips, and it's not going to tie a decent fly. That's going to give you a major problem. If you look at this piece, I can press it down, and you can see the tips are a lot more shorter on the black part, and you have a lot more on the colored part. So all your flies will be a lot easier. If you're using your hook for your gauge or any type of gauge that you're using, it'll make it a lot easier on you. The other problem that most people have, and this is the problem that we found to be the hardest to explain to people, is the consistency of the hair. If you look at this piece right here, and you go to squeeze it, it looks like a piece of cardboard. And it feels like a piece of cardboard. Very, very, very dense. Alright? This is great for size 20s and 18 comparidons. No black tips. I mean, a good consistency on the fur. It's not going to give you a massive flare. It's going to be just enough. You could actually use it for parachute posts. But for your smaller comparidons, this is an excellent piece of hair. If you want to go to a 16 or a 14, this next piece right here, it has a little bit more of a cushion. And not much, but just a little bit more of a cushion if you go to press it down. Now here's a piece that's the same identical piece as this, but it's bleached. You can get it bleached, you can get it dyed dun, you can get it dyed cinnamon, dyed black. They're very easy to find. It has the same density as this one right here. So this is great for your bigger flies, like a size 14, for 16 all the way up to a 12. The thing we found is a lot of people are getting hair like this. If you feel it and look at it right now, it looks like a pillow. And the problem with this is great hair to do humpies with, or spinning it for your Goddard caddis, or if you want to use irresistible bodies on your irresistible dry flies. This is great for that. But if you go to use it for compare hair, you're going to have so many problems, and it's not going to be you, it's going to be the material. The other thing we found, and the most questions asked, was, how do we know when we have enough hair? Well, there's little gauges that we use over the years. It makes it a lot easier for us. You might not need a gauge like I do, but we found out over the years it's a lot easier. If you're doing a size 18 or 20, compare done, and they'll say how much hair do we cut off. And I'll actually get a book of matches, pull out a match, and say keep this in your finger and get used to it. We have a lot of muscle memory in our fingers. So we found that if you're going to tie a few dozen flies and stuff like that, if you start feeling the match like this, it might look a little strange, but you get an idea of how much hair in this hand, or even in this, after you take it out, you'll know exactly how it's supposed to feel. You'll get a consistent wing every time. The same density and everything else. It'll look identical. It'll be a great fly, as long as you're using the hair with no cushion. If you go to a size 14 up to a size 12, this piece right here with a little bit more cushion is this one right here. If you use a wooden match for a gauge, you could feel exactly how much hair you need. Always cut off more than you need, because you're going to lose some taking the underfur out and stacking it. But when you're done, it should have the same feel as this wooden match. And I know it sounds a little strange, it looks a little strange, But when you're done and you have 12 flies or 6 flies in front of you, and you have them all lined up, they look like all little perfect soldiers. None of them are going to be, they're not going to be willy-nilly, and this one more, this one less. The idea of tying a good fly is making them all the same. If you go to a green drake or a brown drake, which a lot of us do tie, we found that stir straws. It's a regular coffee shop stirring straw. And the thing with this is, you can have the same feel for this. Now I'll know how much hair to feel for like a good sized green drake or a brown drake. There's another type out too. It looks like a little, not a straw, but a little rectangular piece, and it's got like little holes in it, and it's great too. It has the same feel as this. There's a few other ones out there that are star shaped, not the same feel, not the same consistency. So we found that just a simple little stirring straw, the wooden match, and the cardboard match will actually keep all your flies in order, all your wings even, and if you use the idea of the cushion on your hair, you should have no problem tying a good comparative one.